The Gospel of Matthew was written later than Mark's Gospel and used Mark's Gospel as a source for his own. Matthew also understands Jesus as the suffering Son of God, but he goes out of his way to emphasize that Jesus is also best understood as the Jewish Messiah, sent from the Jewish God to the Jewish people in fulfillment of the Jewish law. Matthew begins his gospel with one of those passages that students tend to hate, a genealogy. So-and-so begat so-and-so who begat so-and-so who begat so-and-so. My students get upset about having to read this. I tell them, look, at least you're not taking an Old Testament class where if you read 1 Chronicles chapters 1 through 9, you get 9 chapters of genealogy. We're just talking 16 verses here. You can live with it. In fact, the genealogy is quite important in Matthew because it shows that Jesus is descended through the line of King David, whose descendant is to be the Messiah, through the line of Abraham, the father of the Jews. Matthew begins with a genealogy that traces Jesus back to the father of the Jews, Abraham, to show Jesus' Jewishness. Matthew emphasizes that Jesus came in fulfillment of the Jewish law. The events of the birth narrative transpire in order to fulfill what was spoken of by the prophet. In Matthew's gospel, Jesus himself tells his followers that they shouldn't think he came to abolish the law, he came to fulfill the law, and that anyone who follows him has to keep the law. This stands in some contrast with what we found in the Apostle Paul. Matthew's Jesus indicates that his followers have to keep the Jewish law, have to keep it even better than the scribes and Pharisees, who are the enemies in Matthew's gospel, who trump up charges against Jesus that lead to his crucifixion. Matthew's gospel in some ways is the most Jewish and the most anti-Jewish gospel. It's the most Jewish in that it emphasizes that the Jewish law continues to be valid and in force. It's the most anti-Jewish in that you get the most violent attacks against the Jewish leaders of Jesus' day.